Hi, guys. Thank you for joining me today while we talk about Bible stories and different feelings that they explore. Today, we're going to talk about a Bible story that includes Jesus, where he both brings a young girl back to life and heals a woman. And the feeling that we're going to talk about is desperation. So before we get started, though, we always do our highs and our lows. And my high is that later on, I get to actually leave these four walls and go to a grocery store. So very exciting, I get to leave the house. My low is that I'm still very sad over my dog. So that's definitely my low and might be for a while. So let's start with our story. So in our story, Jesus is in the middle of crowds and a man comes to him. And this man is actually a leader of a synagogue. And he runs up to him and falls on the ground and begs at Jesus' feet and tells Jesus about how his only daughter, who is 12 years old, is dying. And he begs Jesus to heal her. So as Jesus is walking and there's crowds all around him, he feels something. And in the Bible, he says that he felt his power go out from him. And he says, who touched me? And the disciples say, there's a whole lot of people around you. Nobody really touched you. And Jesus says, no, somebody did. And a woman comes forward and she is shaking and frightened because she was so desperate that without asking permission or talking to Jesus or doing anything, she reached out and she touched Jesus's robe. And she had so much faith, she believed that this absolutely would heal her. And it did. Her illness went away right that minute and stopped after 12 years of being ill. But Jesus knew she had done it without permission. And you know what Jesus did? He looked at her and he said, daughter, your faith has made you well. Go in peace. Didn't get angry, didn't yell at her, didn't reproach her in any way. Simply said that her faith had made her better, which it had. But can you imagine how desperate and frightened she was when she reached out to touch his cloak or his robes? Probably pretty desperate. Now, while all of this was happening, the person who had come to him and said, my daughter is ill, well, that person's daughter died. So Jesus got to the house and he said, and the people said, don't trouble Jesus anymore. She's dead. And Jesus says, don't weep. She's not dead. She's only sleeping. And the people in the house laugh because they know she's dead. And they don't believe anything can change that. Now, this father, of course, must have been beside himself with desperation and sorrow and sadness because as far as he's concerned, they had just missed the mark. Jesus was on his way when she died. But Jesus goes in, takes her by the hand and calls out, child, get up. Her spirit returned and she stood up at once. And then he told them to give her something to eat. Her parents were astounded. So this desperate father who falls at Jesus' feet, the desperate woman who is ill, who reaches out and touches Jesus' robe, Jesus never rebukes them or gets angry or tells them to suck it up. He just says, okay, and he heals and says, your faith has made you better, and tells the girl to stand up and heals her. So when we are desperate and upset and at the end of the line, we can fall down in prayer and we can beg for help, and that help will be there for us, and that comfort, and we will be taken care of. And that's a pretty wonderful thing. Even in our desperation, we will be taken care of. So I hope you enjoyed our Bible story this time. Let's end with prayers and blessings. And I encourage you to do highs and lows, prayers and blessings with everybody who you are sheltering in place with or with other individuals over the phone. So my prayer is to everybody who is desperate, who is frightened, who is lonely, that God, that you comfort them, bring them peace, bring them in community with other people, and give them everything that they need. Amen. Blessings to you. Parents bless your kids. Kids bless your parents. Have a good day.